Good morning, YouTube. DJ Dre back on set for another episode of the Money Mix, where I go over and review and give y'all guys good stock tips on how to increase your portfolio in the stock market. And also, I give you that hot new DJ mix every morning as well. You got to check that DJ mix out over on my DJ channel, though. I have separated the two. So whenever you get time, just shoot on over to Video DJ Dre, and you can check out all the hot new Money Mix DJ sets. But today we're going to jump right into the market. We got a lot going on today. I want to discuss some new things with you, teach y'all some new tricks of the trade. First and foremost, I want you to read my disclosure below. I'm not a professional financial advisor, accountant, or licensed investment professional. Okay, the views and opinions expressed in this content are purely my own and are based on my personal experiences, research, and opinions. All right, now we got all of the technical, legal stuff out the way. We are going to get into the market today. We're going to try to review a few things, teach y'all a few things on how to increase your portfolio. As you know, we all started out with $1,000. I started this channel out about the 15th of January. So we're about 2 weeks in, This channel is all about beginners, trying to teach beginners how to start off in the stock market and how to turn a little bit of money into some good money, man, and then turn a lot of money into a lot of money. So I like to always say I am an amateur. I give you some amateur advice, but I can make you some professional money. So let's get right into it, all right? If you're following my channel, you know we started off with $1,000. Those of you that could put $1,000 into this Robinhood account. If you couldn't put $1,000 in, I suggest that you put $100 in just to get your feet wet, just to get in the door, just to learn some tips and tricks of this whole stock market process, because it is a process. It is a learning curve. It's not difficult, but it's a learning curve. And the longer you're in it, the more you have invested in it, the more time you put into it, the more you are going to learn. So we're going to jump over to our portfolio and we're going to track the successes, the wins, or the losers in our portfolio. We started out with $1,000, and I'm going to jump over to that screen now. Our Robinhood account is now at $1,293.47. So we're doing real good out the box, man. In 2 weeks, man, we have jumped up a whopping, I'm going to bring you to the month, the 1 month, because we haven't been in it a full month, but it'll tell you about the last month. We are up $207 since we started the account. That's how much cash you have made if you started out with me already. Now, as you know, we already put in an additional $100, okay? We put an additional $100 in. I was encouraging people that every time you get paid that you need to invest in yourself. That 2 week period came up this week. So I invested another $100 into the account, which brought it up to $1,293. Had I not invested that $100 in the account, we would be at $1,193, which is pretty much $193 over the $1,000 original investment, which is excellent for 2 weeks. Real good for 2 weeks. What I want to show you today is how not to panic and let your formula do the work for you. I basically told everybody I had a 6% formula. I put a 6% stop loss on my accounts. I broke it up. I showed you my pie charts in the last episodes, how I break my portfolio up. I don't like to carry a whole lot of stocks. I just like to carry 5 to 7 maximum. Right now, since we're just starting out and we're not dealing with a whole lot of money just yet, we will get there, but not yet. We have 4 stocks in our portfolio. And if you look at the screen here, those 4 stocks are Google, MU, AMD, and SanDisk. You know, we did the research on those stocks. We found out what these companies was about. If you don't know, check out some of the earlier episodes, man. definitely start from the first episode, really, so you can catch up and see exactly where we're going with this. But today was a good day. It was a good day at the end, but it started out real bad. And I really want to stress how not to panic when you're in this game. If you panic, you can lose a lot of money. That's why you have to have a formula to win, to make money in this stock market. I'm going to blow this graph up for you, and we're going to look at the 1 day chart. Now, if you've been following me, you know we are what you are called. We are called retail traders. Retail traders can only trade when the market is open. That's 9:30 in the morning to 4 o'clock in the evening, weekdays, Monday through Friday. Okay? Outside of those hours, us retail traders, now there are some exceptions, but right now for us retail traders cannot trade. We cannot sell a stock. We cannot buy a stock. We cannot, stop loss won't work. Nothing will work in between those off hours. So we're going to look at this chart today. And today I got my finger on here real quick. If you can see, at 5:05 a.m. in the morning, our portfolio was up 260. I'm sorry, I'm not saying it was up 1,000. It was up to $1,261. I'm gonna take another point. We were as high as $1,273. But as you can see on the screen, that was 1:15 a.m. in the morning. We were asleep at that time. There was nothing we could do. Stop losses wouldn't have kicked in. You just had to ride it out. Now, when the market opened today at 9:30, I'm putting my finger on it right about there, 9:30 a.m. Let me scroll out so you can see the value of where we were at. At 9:30 a.m., we were at $1,256. Started out the day real good. If you woke up and you looked at your portfolio, it was like, wow, we had a good overnight run. We are looking good. But immediately, the stock market took a strong dip. Look at this. At 9:55, everybody started selling. And when I say everybody, I mean the big boys, the hedge fund companies. They started bailing out. They started bailing out a lot of, we're heavy tech. We are heavy tech. I do advise you to diversify your portfolio as much as possible, but we're just getting our feet wet right now. We are heavy tech, and I'm trying to get y'all to see how to make money and how to make money as fast as possible. So we are heavy tech right now. And what I mean by heavy tech is our stocks are technical stocks. They're not like clothing brand stocks like the Gap or Walmart or, Starbucks. We are in technical stocks like computers and chip making. We are in that kind of branch, like Apple would be a tech stock. Anything that deals with computers, chips, automation, that's what we call tech stocks. So we are heavy tech. So when the tech starts to sell off like it did today, if you look here, everything dropped at the same time. I'll go to Google. Everything dropped at the same time. I'll go to Google's chart and look at that. Look at that drop. Now, ordinarily, you would panic. I was looking at my portfolio this morning as well. And I have another portfolio, and I have some of these same stocks in it. And I was looking at that portfolio, and I was like, wow, man, do I need to sell? Do I need to do a what I call a crash sell? When the market is crashing, I sell everything in order to recoup my gains. Now, let me tell you something. A day like today, once you gain some more experience, a day like today is a day that you possibly would do a crash sell. And what I mean by that is when the market opens up every day, let me see if I can break this down as simple as possible. I'm going to go to the stock market in general. When the market opens up every day, and we're pretty much the NASDAQ, we're going to go to this one day. Each day the market opens up, before 9:30, you got the big guys in it that's able to sell overnight. They determine how the market will open. And the market will open up with what they call an implied opening, meaning this is what we think the market is going to open up at today. Yesterday at 4 o'clock, it closed at such and such number. Today at 9:30, it's opening up at this number. Now it can either open up in the red or it can open up in the green. Now sometimes, some days, if it opens up heavily in the red, like if it's opening up at a minus 400 points before you can even do anything, that means you're looking at a bad day or a bad morning. A lot of the big dogs, a lot of those hedge funds, a lot of those companies that manage large portfolios, they manage retirement accounts, they are selling early. They are selling overnight. They are selling early in the morning, and they're causing the whole market to just drop. And when the big boys sell, the little guys like us, we panic and we start to sell. And that's what causes this big dip that you see right here, this strong dip. Now, normally if you see a strong dip like that, mostly all of your stocks will show that same dip. And if they do show that same dip, if you have some experience in this game, I'm not saying to do this right now, but if you have some experience in this game, it's a good idea to sell early, like about 10 o'clock in the morning. Okay, sell everything. This is what I do. Sell everything. At 9:55, when it began to drop, we was at 12.50. You see that on the screen? $1,250. It dropped pretty quick. Put my finger up here. By 11 o'clock, just an hour later, we were all the way down to 12.03. At the bottom, at the very bottom, trying to get my finger here at the very bottom, we had dropped below $1,200, $1,198. We were down 3.5%, which is a lot of percentage, especially if you got a lot of money. Now, had you did a crash sale up here at 950, you could have kept that whole 1256 and bought back in somewhere around the bottom or when it started to come back up. Say 1115, you see it's starting to tick back up. You see it's now at 1216. It's starting to tick back up. Normally, what I would do in my portfolio, if I wasn't teaching you guys right now from scratch, normally I would sell on a day like that when I see the market is strongly in the red in the morning when I wake up. And when I wake up, everybody else sells. When the big boys sell before 9:30, as soon as the market opens up, everybody else starts to panic and they sell. It's really a lot to do with momentum. You know, a lot of these guys has been in the market. You watch them on TV, CNBC, and all of the business channels, and I watch them every day. A lot of them will tell you it's all about the technicals of a company, how good the company is going, how good their performance is. And that is true. But because there's so many people in the market now, because it's so easy to pick up your phone and make trades, that has changed the game of stock trading and has made it heavily momentum based. And when I say momentum, that means when one person sells, it triggers somebody else to sell. When those big boys sell, it triggers us little boys to sell. And that's what happened today. You see that drop off? Now, the good news is we have a formula. We have a 6%, okay? A 6% formula. And that's negative 6% stop loss on mostly all our stocks, the ones that we could put them on. If you haven't checked us out, go back, check out another video. We have a 6% stop loss. And if you notice, at the very bottom of this, we were down 3.36%. So we would have not triggered a stop loss overall. Each account, Google, at the most, look at that drop in Google today. Wow, that's a serious drop. At the most, how much were they down? Looks bad, but only 2.73%. So guess what? Our stop loss would have not kicked in on most of these stocks. I'm going to take a look at another one real quick for you. We only have 4, but I'm going to take at another one for you real quick. MU, Micron Technology. They all did pretty much the same thing. Look at this dramatic drop off, which would have you to panic and sell. But we're not panicking, y'all, because we got rules here. We're going to stick to our rules. And because we stick to our rules, they were down 3.8%, almost 4%. But the stop losses is going to kick in to 6%. And look what happened. Look what happened. You didn't panic. And look at Micron. It slowly creeped back up throughout the day. Slowly, it creeped back up and actually got into the red, into the green by about 1:52 o'clock. It was positive. Look at that. Wow. So my point is, don't panic. Stick to your formula. Even though you see a dramatic drop off, don't rush to sell all your stocks. Now, I know what I told you a little bit earlier about doing a crash sale. Only if you have experience to do a crash sale, and only if you have the time to actually sit in front of your computer all day and monitor the stocks should you do a crash sale. That would have had you make more money. You would have been able to keep the original gains, and you would have been able to buy back in as it started to tick back up. So your portfolio would have been a lot higher than it is now. Instead of around, let me see where we are now. Instead of around 1290, probably would have been around 1330 or 1340 had we sold early and got back in. But we're not going to worry about that right now. We're not going to worry about that. One other thing I want to tell you guys before we close out today, and I know I'm going kind of fast, but we always talked about after hours and what we can't do after hours. I'm going to put my finger on it right there. The market closed at 4:05. We pretty much got all the way back up to the 12:49 where we started at. So we really didn't lose any money. Had we sold these stocks, we would have lost money. We would have lost money because we wouldn't have been able to get back in. You might be at work. You might be doing something else. You're not able to check your phone, and you would have lost money if you sold these stocks and weren't able to get right back in. Now, I'm going to touch on this real quick. I'm definitely going to come back in another episode and explain it further. But today, quarterly reports came out. Or not necessarily quarterly reports, but earning reports came out. Some companies reported earnings. And what that means is the companies will come out. They'll notify you in advance. They'll come out and they'll tell you how good they did in the last quarter, the last 3 months, how good they did. And those quarterly reports will normally move the market dramatically. And if you see after hours, look how our portfolio jumped after hours because a couple of companies came out, namely SanDisk, came out with their quarterly earnings. Now, SanDisk is under our 10% high risk stock. I wish I hadn't put it in a high risk stock actually, and I put a whole share on it because it's at a whopping $613 right now. We came in at an average cost of $450, so it's already, man, it's way up. One thing I want to do, I want to explain to you, their earnings report, they crushed it. They pretty much doubled their sales. They projected about $3 billion. They did $6 billion in the last quarter. And because of that, their stock jumped up dramatically after hours. Now, this could have went the opposite way if they had a bad report. So we don't always come out on top when a company has earnings. But today, we did. We definitely did. And as you can see, our portfolio shows it. Look at that big advancement. So look down here. Had you panicked and sold it earlier in the day when it dropped way down here, look at what you would have lost in just one day. That's a lot of money. That's a lot of percentage points right there, especially when our portfolio grows, it gets higher up and gets bigger. That right there, that dip and that rise is a lot of money. So you can't panic. The moral of the story today is do not panic. Let your process play out. Let your strategy play out. Let it do the work for you. Don't panic. Don't get in here and start making no rush judgments and start selling and buying and selling and buying in the middle of the day. Let your strategy play out, and we discussed that strategy earlier. Hey, that's about it for today. I wanted to talk about a lot more, but I don't want the video to go too long, so we're going to get into a lot more of this, like moving those stop losses up. Right now, I'm going to tell you right now, before the next episode, because it is Friday and we're not coming back till Monday, definitely move your stop losses up today, okay? Every stock that you see that you got a plus on, and I'm going to just touch on this real quick, MU, for instance, okay, Micron Technology. I'm going to touch on this before we get up out of here, okay, because I need you guys to do this today because I won't be back on until Monday. Okay, look at here on the screen right here, our average cost. Average cost means what we bought in at. We bought in at $386, okay? It's already up to $449. So in order to keep those profits, just in case Micron Technology takes a dip, and let me tell you, I'm concerned about Micron, and I'm also concerned about SanDisk. They have been on a tear, and dips are coming. Stocks don't always go up this fast, this strong and this fast. But I just want to show you here, our stop loss right here is $363, okay? It was minus 6% at the time. It's all the way up to now $449. So I'm going to go on my calculator real quick, my trusty calculator, and see where we need to move that stop loss up to. Right now they're selling at $449 minus 6% equals that stop loss now needs to go from right here, stop loss place. You see it right here, stop loss at 363. We need to move that stop loss up to $422 now. That's how you keep your gains. That's how you never lose money. You got to make sure you move those stop losses up. Now, I want to go to SanDisk real quick before we get out of here, man. Before we get out of here today, I'm going to go to SanDisk, and I want to show you something. We do not have a full share on SanDisk. If you go back and check out some of the other episodes, you will see the reasons why we do not have a full share on SanDisk. But we did invest a little bit of money on SanDisk. If you see SanDisk right now, we came in at an average cost of $450. It's at $615. This is 2 weeks, y'all. 2 weeks. So that's incredible. We can't put a stop loss on that because we don't have a full share. So you need to keep your eye on SanDisk. And this is why. If you look at SanDisk, in 1 week, they went up 19.39%. Excellent. In 1 month, they went up 158% in 1 month. That's the type of return I'm trying to get in a year. If I get a plus 158% on any of my stocks in a 12-month period, that is a successful year. Very successful. That's why I tell y'all you can make a lot of money in this stock market game. Now let me show you. 3 months, 229%. We're going to go out to a whole year. The last 12 months with SanDisk, had you been in early, I don't even suggest you get in right now fully because it's hard to say when this stock is going to turn around. Because what goes up must come down. Yes, this company has a good profit margin. Yes, they blew it out the box. Their earnings call was great. They superseded their sales. But if you look here, in 1 year, they went up 1,158% in 1 year. Okay? Do you know what that means? If you put that $1,000 that we just started with in 1 year, you multiply that, get your calculator out, times 1,158%, that equals, you would have now $11,580 in your account in 1 year, just off of $1,000. That's incredible. I'm really expecting people to start to take profits, and I am expecting this particular stock to start to come down. I don't know when, but I'm expecting it to start to come down. If you had 5,000 on this particular stock, just 5,000, that's not a lot of money. But if you put 5,000 on this one stock and you multiply that in 1 year, 1158%, I'm on my trusty calculator in front of me, you would have $57,900 in just a year off of $5,000. So I'm saying that to say the big dogs are going to start taking their profits. They are going to start selling SanDisk soon because this is really momentum based. This is not going up just on the merits of their company, on the merits of their products, on the merits of their sales. A lot of this is momentum based, and believe me, companies are going to start to take profits. So I don't know when it's going to drop, but it's going to turn around. And that's why you got to keep an eye on it, or that's why you got to make sure you have that 6% stop loss on it. That's it for today, man. We done went over today. It was a good show. Definitely be back in the building at 9:30 on Monday. We're going to have some more hot topics for you. We're going to be teaching you a little bit more in the game. I know I went through this quick today. Definitely hit the rewind button if you can. Definitely shoot over to my other channel, Video DJ Dre. Check out the Money Mix, the DJ side of this particular channel. Hey, once again, I want to thank y'all for checking me out. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you tell somebody, hit that notification bell. Hit that like button too, man, so I can get these numbers up, so I can let people know about this show. Once again, DJ Dre, the Money Mix. I will see you guys on Monday. Peace.